Injury prevention. That's the goal of every organization's safety program. And depending on the work environment, the hazards involved, and the tasks being performed, there are a wide variety of safeguards, procedures, protective equipment, and administrative controls put into place to protect workers. And while there are countless methods used to protect workers from injury, each method shares a common root. The genesis of all injury prevention methods is an understanding and awareness of the hazards to which a worker may be exposed. In other words, the company and the worker must be aware of a hazard before that hazard can be controlled. This is why hazard awareness, often called hazard recognition, is such an important concept. This seemingly simple concept can quickly become complex in our fast-paced and ever-changing work environments, especially when human factors are introduced, such as errors, attitude, choices, and emotion. In this program, we will discuss the important roles played by both management and employees in recognizing and controlling workplace hazards, and how this shared duty of safety awareness and hazard recognition helps prevent injury. Let's get started. This is Jerry.
Jerry, can you come here, please?
The company for whom Jerry works has just received some chemical drums, which must be stored in Jerry's area.
For you. They want to store these barrels here in your area, so I'm going to need you to get these barrels over there on top of that.
This is a new task for both Jerry and his supervisor. Jerry is told to place the drums onto the drum pallets. Not being familiar with how to handle heavy drums, Jerry struggles to place the drums onto the pallet. Unfortunately, Jerry loses control of the drum, which falls onto his foot and leg, causing an injury. Ouch! There were a variety of mistakes made in that example. But the first mistake, the one that could have prevented all the others, was a failure to perform a JSA, a job safety analysis. A job safety analysis is a process which identifies the hazards of a specific job, so measures to eliminate or control those hazards can be determined and implemented. The ultimate goal of a job safety analysis is to reduce the risks or hazards of a task, process, or procedure to as low as reasonably practical to prevent workers from injury or illness. Of course, for a JSA to be helpful, it must be done prior to the job being performed, and its finding must be implemented into engineering controls, safe work practices, and procedures. As Jerry found out the hard way, discovering a job's hazards by trial and error can be a painful process. This is why a job safety analysis should be performed anytime a new job task is introduced into the workplace, as well as any time a current job task is changed or modified. Each JSA should also be periodically reviewed to ensure it remains accurate and effective. A successful job safety analysis will produce a document that is easy to understand, can be reviewed with employees during orientation or safety meetings, and can be included in a worker's job description. A finished JSA will typically contain the following important information: a description of the job task to be performed, a listing of the basic steps required to complete the job, a listing of the potential hazards which may be encountered during each step, and a list of measures to be taken during each step to control those hazards. Employees must be mindful that the existence of a job safety analysis alone will not make a job safe. Injuries will still occur if the JSA is not fully implemented by both management and workers. The job safety analysis for most new job tasks are typically conducted by management and safety professionals. However, workers are often part of the assessment team. In addition, workers may discover a job task that doesn't currently have a written job safety analysis and be asked to perform one on their own. Safety committee members, frontline supervisors, and experienced workers may also frequently be asked to review existing JSAs and offer suggested changes. No matter who conducts a job safety analysis, it is important to participate if you are asked to do so. You may have unique or specific knowledge about the hazards involved. Involvement by knowledgeable workers help ensure a top quality analysis. Your participation will also indicate to others that you are committed to the safety effort of the organization. Your example makes it more likely that others will also participate. When conducting a JSA, a good starting point is to review any incidents related to the task in question which have resulted in injuries, property damage, or close calls. This information may indicate that existing controls, if any, aren't sufficient and may provide clues to new control measures which may need to be implemented. You should then consult with experienced employees to learn about the hazards they have noticed and to get their ideas on eliminating and controlling those hazards. Of course, if any hazard is identified that poses an immediate danger to a worker's life or health, take immediate action to prevent an injury. Do not wait until the job safety analysis is completed before correcting obvious hazards. To help decide which jobs to analyze first, make a list and rank them by priority. List jobs with hazards that present unacceptable risks and rank them based on those most likely to occur and those with the most severe consequences. These are the tasks which should be your first priority for analysis. Next, divide the job into its basic steps. One way to do this is to observe a worker performing the job and making a list of the steps taken by the worker. Some organizations record video of workers performing the job so it can be more carefully analyzed to produce a more detailed job safety analysis. Once created, the list of job steps should then be reviewed with the worker to make sure nothing has been omitted. It is often a good idea to limit the job steps of a JSA to 15 or less. Jobs requiring more than 15 steps can usually be broken down into more than one JSA. Once a listing of job steps is created, each step should be analyzed for hazards by attempting to envision the various ways a person performing that particular step may suffer an injury. Here are a few common categories of the causes of injuries. Consider each of these when analyzing each job step for potential hazards. Struck. Can the worker strike anything that may cause injury, such as sharp edges or low-hanging objects? Can anything strike the worker, such as falling objects, opening doors, or moving vehicles? Contact. Can the worker contact anything that may cause injury, such as hot objects, energized electrical parts, or hazardous chemicals? Can anything harmful contact the worker, such as a pressurized release or an electric arc blast? Caught. Can the worker become caught or entrapped by any opening or configuration? Can the worker become caught in or caught between any moving equipment, pinch point or nip point? Fall. Can the worker slip or trip on anything which may result in a same level fall? Can the worker fall from one level to another? Strain. Can the worker be injured from excessive strain from lifting, pushing, pulling, repetitive motions, or awkward postures? Exposure. Can the worker be injured from exposure to heat, cold, noise, air quality, or other environmental dangers? Once the potential hazards of each step of a job task are identified, the best methods to control those hazards must then be developed and listed on the job safety analysis. When developing methods to control potential hazards, many companies follow the following hierarchy of controls. The first choice is to eliminate the hazard by removing it from the area. For example, a hazardous chemical may be replaced by a non-hazardous one, or a low-hanging object may be removed. If it's not possible to eliminate a hazard, the next choice is to use engineering controls to control the hazard. If a hazard cannot be completely controlled by engineering controls, then controlling the hazard through administrative controls is the next choice. Administrative controls also include work procedures, such as following lockout-tagout procedures or performing pre-operational inspections. And lastly, the use of personal protective equipment is the final option to protect employees from hazards which have not been controlled by other means. Once the JSA for a job is completed, it should then be used for the development and implementation of safe work practices and employee training. Next, let's talk about the larger concept of safety awareness. Safety awareness includes not only a recognition of potential hazards, but also an awareness of what is happening in your immediate work area and an understanding of how your actions and the actions of those around you may impact your safety, both now and in the near future. In other words, safety awareness is seeing and understanding what is currently happening around you, while also thinking ahead to anticipate and prevent problems. Recall that a job safety analysis is specific to a unique job task. This is different than the concept of safety awareness, which is more personal and fluid, moving about with each individual. Whether you are at work or at home, always take a moment before starting any job and evaluate it for hazards. Make sure that what you plan to do makes good sense and isn't inherently dangerous. Take a moment and look around for potential hazards. Then decide what you must do to protect yourself against injury from those hazards. Remember, hazard recognition is like a personal version of the job safety analysis. And this is what safety professionals mean when they say, think before you act. A moment of thought can easily prevent a lifetime affected by injury. As we mentioned earlier, hazard recognition is just one part of the concept of safety awareness. And let's now discuss the awareness part of safety awareness. One definition of awareness is seeing and understanding what is going on around you, while also thinking ahead to anticipate and prevent problems. NASA, the military, and other organizations that require their personnel to perform complex tasks often refer to this concept as situational awareness. For example, a pilot who loses situational awareness may inadvertently fly right into the ground. Similarly, an industrial maintenance worker who loses his situational awareness may step off an unguarded edge. In each instance, the person lost their awareness of the hazards around them. Unfortunately for both the pilot and the maintenance worker, the result is the same. Similarly, many hand injuries, eye injuries, head injuries, falls, moving equipment incidents, and traffic collisions occur due to a loss of situational awareness. Here are some common causes of workers losing their situational or safety awareness. Excessive amounts of stress or tiredness make us vulnerable to losing focus. Working in extreme temperatures,
I'm hot.
being exposed to loud noise or excessive vibration can also be draining on our ability to maintain safety awareness. Maintaining safety awareness is also impacted by pressure to perform. Pressure may come from external sources like supervisors and coworkers, or from internal sources like your own desire to finish by a certain time. Complacency also contributes to a loss of safety awareness. When doing the same job over and over again, our mind can sometimes wander or tune out. No matter the cause, a loss of awareness is a real safety issue which must be controlled. To do this, it's important that you be able to recognize the signs and symptoms of a loss of situational or safety awareness.
Man, what I come in here for? I'm sure there was a reason.
You may find that you're momentarily confused or not able to recall what you are supposed to be doing. You may find yourself using the improper procedure for a job.
Hey, man.
Hey.
Aren't you going to do the lockout procedure?
Or while performing the task, you are confronted by abnormal issues or unexpected results.
This makes no sense.
You may also become fixated on a small part of the job.
Hey, man. Watch out.
While being oblivious to the job as a whole. If you notice these symptoms in yourself or others, step back from the job and reassess the situation. Go back to the beginning of a task or start over at step 1 of the procedure. If others are involved, communicate your concerns and make a new work plan. Get to the bottom of any unexpected issues or abnormal issues. Do not continue working until abnormal conditions are corrected or controlled. When you find yourself losing your awareness of safety, stop and do whatever you need to do to get back on track.
In this program, we have explained that injury prevention begins by recognizing the hazards to which a worker may be exposed. We explain the process of conducting a job safety analysis and how performing a JSA leads to the development of safe work practices and procedures. We also explain the concept of safety awareness and how its components of hazard recognition and situational awareness enable workers to stay safe. Job safety analysis, safety awareness, and you. These are the key components to recognizing and controlling hazards. These are the key components to injury prevention. Now remember, work safe and be safe.